So one of the biggest issues that I find most people have is just this stress eat. Like we just all of a sudden find ourselves wanting these cravings. You, me, everyone. Whether it's chips, whether it's something salty or something savory, or of course the chocolate, the ice cream, and all of those decadent good things. But it's when life hits, and it may be when you're triggered by something that's emotional, something stressful, or something that actually makes you angry and upset and frustrated. But that's when we find ourselves reaching for these things. Then we just get even more frustrated that we can't stop. And this becomes this habit loop, right? And so we find that we're just stuck in this loop. And how do we change that? Well, let's break it down. It's called Hebb's Law. And what it is there's an emotional trigger that happens in response to something that's happened in your life. So for instance, if your boss comes in, he pisses you off because he's telling you you're not doing a good job, you get upset. When you're upset, you eat. So now we've identified the pattern. Or just talking with my cameraman, the myth, the man, the legend, we're talking about how when you've got a lot of projects and a lot of things under your belt, you become stressed out. You've got too much happening in your life. It's good, but it's stressful. And then you're just unconsciously just eating and just completely unaware. And then 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours sitting at a desk doing whatever goes by and you're like, I haven't even moved and I've eaten all this stuff. And so we've identified that, yes, it's the stress, but what is the stress really happening? What is the trigger? The trigger is that we're not actually getting outside and getting anything fun or having anything else happen in our life. That's the trigger, right? Stress is just the response, and then what we do with it is we eat. So we have to actually be able to identify what that is and then change. So how do we do that? You simply replace it. Replace it with a different habit, something that's a little bit better, whether it's going outside, getting some fresh air. Because what we're trying to do when we're eating chips, whether we're eating ice cream, whatever it is, we're trying to get something that makes us feel better. It's releasing a little bit of dopamine inside of our system because it releases all of those wonderful tastes. So that taste that feels so good, tastes so good, is making us feel better. So we need to do that with something else. So go for a walk, meditate. I do push-ups. Just knocking out 10 push-ups releases some endorphins in my system, and it delineates some of the craving that wants to creep into my system. And so I'm changing the pattern. So now we've got the trigger, the stress, or whatever emotional response, and a new pattern. Something simple. And we just go back and repeat that cycle over and over again until it's no longer a problem for us. Coach Joseph, peace be the journey. I'm out.